we are here to review the last title for this week. And the last title is Rangbaaz Season 3, which is also called Rangbaaz Darr Ki Rajneeti, that is streaming on Z5. Michael, what do you think about it?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you the brief background on this film. So Rangbaaz is the third installment of Z5's marquee franchise. And the story this time around centers around Haroon Shah Ali Baig. And please correct me with any of these pronunciations along the way. But he is a gangster turned politician from Bihar. And this is his rise from his humble beginnings in Bihar to become the power that he ultimately became in Diwan, but ultimately to his subsequent fall. So this is inspired by the life and times of a real life personality. And just like the two preceding seasons of the franchise, the cast and makers of the series may go blue in the face denying the fact, but it is clear as day the character of Haroon Shah Ali Baig is modeled after the notorious Bihar politician criminal Mohammad Shahabuddin. And if you visit the Shahabuddin's Wikipedia page, once you finish watching the series, you'll find that the events that take place in this series are shockingly similar to what happens in real life. And with that said, I want you to walk us through this third installment and, point out some of the things that you liked, some of the things you didn't like.
So I have to tell you that it's perhaps one of the best crime thrillers I've seen in a very long time. And I have to congratulate the casting director, who is Mukesh Chabra, on this one, that he has outdone himself through the casting. The performances are so brilliant that they elevate the entire storytelling. It is as if no better actor could have been casted in those roles. And what I have to tell you is, when I interviewed Vineet Kumar Singh, I did not know that he is such a understated actor. And we just interviewed him a couple of weeks back, and I didn't realize that he would be so brilliant. And he is. As Haroon Shah Ali Baig, I do not think that any other actor would have played Haroon the way Vineet Kumar Singh just did. And it just is so gratifying to see these very fine actors perform on the screen, and they literally get under the skin of the characters that they're playing. And not only Vineet, but also Akanksha Singh, for that matter. But what I felt throughout the show was also that the writers just were torn between either they had to glorify him as a protagonist or had to demonize him. And basically they seemed torn between these two options, and they didn't know which side to take. So they stayed very gray on it. But it is to Vineet's advantage, because then he starts playing this dubious protagonist in a very convincing way. He makes you root for his evil character, even with every damn thing he's doing, every corrupt thing he's doing, every crime that he's committing, every man he's killing. You end up rooting for Vineet. That's the way he has gone under your skin by the time you finish watching a couple of episodes. So very interesting watch. Because once you start rooting for for the protagonist that's in the wrong on the screen, half the battle with the audience is won already, because now the audience are going to completely empathize with him, whatever he does. He doesn't even have to give you a story of the fact that he's right somewhere. He's wrong. And he doesn't make any qualms about it. I have to tell you, the production quality, the technical specs, the runtime is perfect. It's just so well done, and it's so well paced that it just hooks you in the first episode, and it keeps your attention as an audience going on throughout the show. The momentum also matches the energy of the events on the screen, because events on the screen are pretty shocking, the killings and whatever else Haroon is doing to be prominent, to be the center of power in Bihar as a politician. So on the whole, the writer and director have succeeded in perfectly nailing the character of Haroon Ali Shah Baig.
And it's great to see that we have finally landed on a great crime piece such as this, because in recent weeks, if you guys have actually been following Red, White, and Brown in the recent weeks, we've actually been let down with a few of the similar genre. I remember last week, I can't remember the title, but it was a very similar kind of crime docu-series, and we just weren't 100%, convinced that it was really the best it could have been. If you followed the week before, I know that there was also a couple letdowns with some of the titles, but it's really good to see this one, come through and just give you a really, really, really good series to watch, and give you, a good kind of real life event that happened. At the same time, like, these are real events, so there really isn't a whole lot to romanticize with this character. So that is definitely one thing to pick at, because this was something that like really happened. But at the same time, if you look at it from the spec, where it's not necessarily trying to portray the whole person, but maybe just tell a story, if you put Shahabuddin kind of out of this and you watch it just as a story, not relating it to him, then you could see a pretty good story, pull apart. I think that would be appropriate. But it's very obvious that they are modeling it off of someone in real life. So pick and choose if you like that or not, but very glad to see that this one landed.